So, Article 3, Section 1, alam natin pare-pareho ito, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the law. Okay? So, this is phrased in the negative. Kasi pwede natin i-rephrase ito para maging positive. That a person shall not be deprived of his life, liberty, or property in the absence of due process. Okay. Now, so what is life? Sabi ni Norman Black, Campbell Black, Black's Law Dictionary, 1990 edition, the state of animals, plants, and humans or organized beings in which its natural functions and motions are performed, in which its organs are capable of performing their functions. Okay? So, one of the Erap jokes na natira, sabi yung high school daw si Erap, siya ay nasa Ateneo, of course, at tinatanong siya nung kanyang teacher, sabi niya, kapag ka nasagot mo yung mga tanong ko ng tama, I'll give you 100, your grade as 100, no? So, unang tanong, anatomy. What do you call this organ that controls all the functions of the different organs of the body? Sabi naman ng ating bida, sir, that's the brain. Okay? Tapos sumunod, what do you call this organ that has no bones, purely muscles? It keeps on pumping and responsible for making loud. That's the heart, of course. Do not think of anything wrong. Okay? Then finally, sabi niya, pag nasagot mo ito, I'll give you 100. What do you call this organ in which the baby passes through at birth? Of sabi niya, sir, I forgot. But I remember clearly, it was at the tip of my tongue last night. Okay, so liberty. What is liberty? Liberty as guaranteed by the Constitution was defined by Justice Malcolm, no? Malcolm Hall ng UP College of Law. Si Justice Malcolm ng Philippine Supreme Court to include the right to exist and the right to be free from arbitrary restraint or servitude. Now, liberty in the constitutional sense not only means freedom from unlawful government restraint, it must include privacy as well. That's why we now have the data privacy law, diba? Must include privacy as well if it is to be a repository of freedom. Kasi hindi naman po pwede na ikaw nga ay may buhay, may kalayaan, pero pinakikialaman naman ng gobyerno ang lahat ng kilos mo. Diba? That's not liberty at all. Now, ito daw ho ang sign of global warming. But that's not mine. Galing mo sa Google yan. Kaya yun nanliligaw dun sa babae. Sabi niya, Google ka ba? Sabi ng babae, bakit? Kasi natagpuan ko sa'yo lahat ng hinahanap ko. Ayan. Sabi ng babae, Yahoo. Okay. So kung gusto niyo pang malaman ang napakaraming baon ko, abay pumunta kayo doon sa YouTube channel at meron doon tayong collection yan doon. Anyway, so freedom, according to Mabini, liberty is the freedom to do right. Okay? Liberty is the freedom to do right and never wrong. It is guided ever by the reason and the upright and honorable conscience of individual. Now, in the case of Ruby versus the Provincial Board of Mindoro, even liberty itself, the greatest of all rights, is no unrestricted license to act according to one's own will. In other words, all liberty has limitation. It is only freedom from restraint under conditions essential to the equal enjoyment of the same right by others. Okay. Now, what about property? Well, under Article 414 of the Civil Code, all things which are or may be the subject of appropriation are considered property. Either immovable or real property, movable or personal property. Okay? So, immovable, well, real property. Yeah, one time, may high school student ako nakita. Of course, pardonable, high school student siya. Yung kanyang libro ang nakalagay, real property of, pinagay yung pangalan niya. I go, well, high school student kasi. So, parang napakabigat ng libro niya kasi real property. Okay. Now, the right to be alive. According to that case of Secretary of National Defense versus Manalo, while the right to life under Article 3 guarantees essentially the right to be alive, upon which the enjoyment of all other rights is preconditioned. The right to security of person is a guarantee of secure quality of this life. No? Kasi may karapatan ka nga sa buhay, pero lagi ka naman natatakot, abay, hindi rin tama. So, liberty includes freedom from fear. The life to which each person has right is not a life lived in fear that his person and property may be unreasonably violated by a powerful ruler. So the right to life, the right to liberty would be useless if there is a constant threat on your security. Okay? So, due process is also necessary. So a person's life or liberty, including property, may be taken away from him. But there must be due process. So due process of law is a law that hears before it condemns, according to Daniel Webster, in that case of Dartmouth College versus Woodward. No? Ito yung kanyang opening statement. Kasi sa kanila, may jury sila eh. So the counsels of both sides can have an opening statement and a closing statement before they present their evidence and after they have rested their case. So unlike us, magkakaroon ka lang ng formal offer of evidence, di ba? Yun lang. Pero wala tayong jury kasi. So, judge lang. Now, a law that hears before it condemns, proceeds upon inquiry, and renders judgment only after trial. Okay? But in the eyes of your wives or girlfriend, you are presumed guilty unless you can prove your innocence. So, they do not even exercise, or they do not even give you the right to due process. So, due process includes notice and hearing. And so, isa ko nga sa inyo, walay bungol na makulong ba? Kasi no person can be imprisoned without hearing. Okay? Hearing, on the other hand, presupposes a competent and impartial tribunal. And the right to be heard and ultimately, the right to due process of law lose meaning in the absence of an independent and competent and impartial tribunal. So, mawawalang silbi yung ating right to be heard kung partial naman yung korte, kung mayroong discrimination, and so on. Now, what are the aspects of due process? You have substantive due process. Substantive due process, as the phrase connotes, asks whether the government has an adequate reason for taking away your life, liberty, or property. Okay? What's the reason why the government would take away your life? Because you violated the law. And there is a law imposing death penalty. Eh wala na ho tayong death penalty ngayon, di ba? So ano na ang pinakamahabang sentensya na wala na ang death penalty? It's called marriage. Why? It is lifetime imprisonment. Okay. In other words, the substantive due process looks on whether there is sufficient justification for the government action. So, dapat bang i-deprive siya ng life, liberty, or property? Ano ang dahilan? Okay? Then, of course, meron tayong tinatawag na void for vagueness doctrine. The law is declared void if it is so vague that an ordinary person of common intelligence cannot understand what the law allows or what the law penalizes. Okay? Now, it is repugnant to the Constitution in two respects. It violates due process for failure to accord persons, especially the parties targeted by it, fair notice of the conduct to avoid. Hindi mo alam kung anong gagawin mo. Hindi mo alam kung anong hindi gagawin, di ba? Eh sa Pilipinas naman, kung anong bawal, yun ang masarap gawin eh. Ba, naalala nyo, bawal tumawid. Wala naman sumusunod dyan eh. Dito sa Metro Manila, pinalitan niya ng MMDA. Walang tawiran, nakamamatay. Wala pa rin sumunod. Pinalitan ulit, walang tawiran, may namatay na. Di pa rin sinunod eh. Kaya ako gusto ko na magpunta sa office ng MMDA para mag-suggest, para sundin, palitan yung karatula. Ano yung sasuggest ko? Walang tatawid, papatayin. Okay? Pasakali sumunod na. Ha? Lalo na ngayon, uso yung Operation Tokbang. Di sa Bisaya, Tokhang. Tok-tok, kinakatokhang yung kausapin. Pero din sa Manila, Tokbang. Tok-tok, bang-bang. Ayan. Sabi ko dun sa wife ko, pagka pala hindi sumuko ngayon, napapatay. At gusto ko na rin sumurrender. Sabi niya, bakit adik ka ba? Oo, adik ako sa iyo. Okay. So it leaves law enforcers unbridled discretion in carrying out the provision to become an arbitrary flexing of the government's muscle. So, pagka malabo yung batas, may leeway yung mga enforcers kung ano lang ang gustong gawin at hindi gawin. And that cannot be done kasi sila ang mag-i-interpret. They will just enforce the law. They have no right to interpret the law. The authority to interpret the law is lodged in the Supreme Court. Okay? Now, what are the aspects of due process? You have procedural. Kanina, substantive. Now we have procedural. It refers to the procedure in which the government would have to follow before a person is deprived of his life, liberty, or property. Diba? Okay, so substantive, procedural are the aspects of due process. Now, appeal is not a natural right. As I told you earlier, appeal is not a natural right or part of due process. It is not even a constitutional right. Appeal is a mere statutory right. So in the absence of a statute guaranteeing an individual's right to appeal his case, that right cannot be exercised. It's not a matter of constitutional right. Okay? And then equal protection is embraced in the concept of due process. Okay? The equal protection of the law is embraced in the concept of due process as every unfair discrimination offends the requirements of justice and fair play. The Equal Protection Clause does not require the universal application of the laws on all persons or things without distinction kasi meron naman tayong exception diyan sa discrimination. Ayan. But equal protection requires due process. Okay? Equal protection requires uniformity, I should say. Not total equality, but uniformity. Meaning all persons who are similarly situated must be treated alike in terms of rights conferred and obligations required. You do not stop on the rights. Diba? They must be equal in the rights conferred, but you do not stop there. And obligations required. Because every right has a corresponding obligation. Okay? Kasi, democracy is not an unbridled license to do what one wants to do. Democracy is exercising your right with respect to the rights of others. That's democracy. Kasi kung gagamitin natin lisensya yan to do what we want, regardless of the other's rights, then that's not democracy. That's democracy. Okay? We do not want that. Now, equal protection limits governmental discrimination. Okay? The equal protection of the law is a pledge of the protection of laws. It limits governmental discrimination. The Equal Protection Clause extends to artificial persons. So even natural persons are entitled to, or juridical persons are entitled to equal protection. Okay? Ito daw yung mga ibon, kasi maraming bagay na sinisimbolo ang ibon. Nung unang panahon, ang ating national bird ay maya. Pero nagulat ako, pinalitan. Ito na pala ay monkey-eating eagle o yung Philippine eagle. So I asked the people from DOT, Department of Tourism, baka may taga-tourism sa inyo dyan, you can confirm or deny, kaya daw ginawang Philippine eagle ang ating national bird kasi pag dumarating yung mga turista, ang sinasabi daw, ang liit naman ang bird nyo. Kasi maya is a small bird, di ba? Maliit na langgam yan, gamay na langgam. Okay. Nung makita daw ng mga turista na eagle na, wow, ang laki na ng bird nyo. Okay. Ang mga bird daw ay sumisimbolo yan ng mga bagay-bagay, tulad nung down para sa peace. Yung eagle for soaring high. Pero may estudyante ako, ang sabi sa akin, at hanggang ngayon pinag-iisipan ko pa, ano sir yung bird na nagre-represent ng family planning o birth control? Nagulat ako, hindi ko alam. Kung meron ba nun? Ibon na sumisimbolo ng birth control. Ano yun? Sabi niya, sir, ang tawag yan, swallow. Ginugel ko. Swallow is a bird. Pero yung connection niya sa birth control o family planning, really, I cannot fathom. Okay. So, equal protection does not require absolute equality. Diba? Equal Protection Clause is directed principally against undue favor and individual or class privilege. So uniformity, not absolute equality. It does not require absolute equality, but merely that all persons shall be treated alike under like conditions, both as to the privileges conferred and liabilities imposed. Diba? So pagka may right ka, meron kang obligations. Okay, that's equal protection. Now, equal pay for equal work is equal protection. Remember that case of International School Alliance of Educators versus Kisumbing? Diba? Ang Kisumbing dyan, yung dating Justice Kisumbing, at this time, siya ang Secretary of Labor and Employment. Nagkaroon ng unequal pay kasi yung mga faculty teachers ng International School Manila, yung mga teachers who are local, mga Pilipino, hindi na Pilipino daw ngayon, Filipinx, Diyos ko po, bakit pinapahirapan yung mga buhay namin? Filipinx, ano ba yan? Okay. Ay mababa ang sweldo by 25% kaysa doon sa mga foreigners na nagtuturo in the same school. Eh, kasi daw, they are detached from their family, so dapat mas malaki ang bayad nila. Abay, nagalit ang Justice ng Supreme Court. Ang sumula, si Justice Kapunan, no? Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, that is adding insult to injury. Because you are mandated by the Constitution to protect the rights of our workers, local and overseas. And there you are, locally employed na nga itong mga ito, yet they are being discriminated by their employer, and you look on the other side, di ba? You do not correct it, but you tolerate it. So nagalit ang Korte Suprema dyan. So if you do equal work, you should be given equal pay. Okay. Now, what are the requisites for a valid classification? Number one, classification rests on substantial distinction. Di ba? So dapat may substantial distinction. Kaya minsan, yung mga abogado, iba ang mga nagagawa kaysa hindi pa abogado. Kaya gustong-gusto ninyo maging abogado, hindi ba? O yan, you join us, no? Malapit-lapit na yan. Ha? You just believe that you will be lawyers. Then pangalawa, it is not confined to existing conditions only. It is applicable also to the future conditions. It applies equally to all the members of the same class. Right? And it is germane to the purpose of the law. Okay? Maliwanag tayo dyan, ha? Kaya one time, itong mga OFW, ay kailangan din silang magbayad ng PhilHealth nila, no? There was an OFW na gusto niyang malaman kung magkakaanak pa ba siya. Kasi ang tagal-tagal niya doon sa abroad, eh hindi siya nagkakaanak. Sabi sa kanya ng kanyang urologist, ay magpa-sperm count ka para malaman natin. Kasi ayon sa mga pag-aaral ng mga doktor, no? Alam niyo, kung hindi ako abogado, gusto ko rin maging doctor of medicine. Ang specialization, obstetrician, gynecologist. Kasi kumikita ka na, nakakita ka pa. Hindi, biro lang yan, biro lang. Okay. So, ang advice ng urologist niya, magpunta ka doon sa clinic, mag-undergo ka ng sperm counting. Eh, nakapila siya kasi mahaba yung wala pang COVID eh. Mahaba yung line. So, naiinip siya. So, tinignan niya anong ginagawa ng magandang nurse. Eh, nagkakaroon ng, sabi daw, I do not know, kwento lang naman ito, oral extraction. Okay? So, nung turn niya, na-excited na siya eh. Ang ginawa, manual extraction. Abi, nagalit siya, sabi niya, nurse, is this not violation of my right to equal protection? Sir, bakit? Eh, kasi kanina nakita ko oral extraction, sa akin, manual. Oh, we are similarly situated. Violation ng equal protection. Sabi ng manong nurse, sir, hindi po. Sabi niya, bakit? Eh kasi po, there is substantial distinction. Ha? It is confined not only to existing condition, but to future condition as well. Applicable not only to you, but to the members of your class, and it is germane to the purpose of the law. Sabi niya, ano yung classification based on substantial distinction? Sabi niya, sir, kasi kanina, cash basis kayo po, PhilHealth card. Eh. Okay. So, election to public office is not a reasonable classification. Remember that case of People versus Halushos. Kilala niyo naman siguro ito si Congressman Halushos, di ba? At hindi naman lingid sa kaalaman ng lahat that he was convicted by the Makati RTC for statutory rape. At nang makonvict siya, hindi pa ako abogado at that time, itong kapitbahay namin doon sa Angono Rizal, sabi sa akin, attorney ang tawag. Tuwa naman ako kasi first year ka pala, tinatawag ka ng attorney. Bakit ba statutory rape ang kaso ni Congressman Halushos? Sabi ko, ano pong problema? Sabi niya, tinignan ko kasi yung biktima niya, batang babae. Hindi naman estatwa. Bakit statutory rape? Okay. Okay. So, while the case was pending appeal, no? Kasi may conviction siya, so dinala sa National Penitentiary, sa Bilibid, Muntinlupa. And then, he appealed the case, kasi life reclusion perpetua. While the case was pending appeal, he ran for Congress. Yan sa Zamboanga del Norte. Yan, Zamboanga del Norte. Dapitan kasi yung kanilang lugar. And then, nanalo siya. Kasi sabi ng mga tao diha, musag unsaon, halusos gihapon. Okay. So nanalo siya. Ang problema, nakakulong siya eh. So how can he perform his duties to his constituents? So nag-file siya ngayon ng petition sa Korte Suprema to allow him to attend congressional sessions and committee hearings of Congress. Kasi daw if he is not allowed to attend, that would deprive his constituents of their representation in Congress. Eh, hindi pumayag ang Supreme Court. Kasi what distinguishes you from all other convicted persons of your class? Diba? Pare-pareho kayong convicted eh. So bakit ikaw papayagan ka na mag-attend ng congressional hearings, congressional session, eh yung iba nakakulong dito? Kasi kung papayagan siya ng Korte Suprema, ang kanilang mga session ay hanggang Thursday, may committee hearings on Friday, edi Saturday, Sunday lang siya nandun sa Muntinlupa. Ano siya? Bisita. Okay? The fact that your constituents knew before they elected you that you have a conviction and you appealed it, at any time it may be affirmed, then that's their problem. Diba? So election to Congress does not make you a different person from all these people of the same class who are convicted of a crime. Okay? So yan. Now, puntahan natin yung Article 3, Section 2, no? That the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizure of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to be determined by the judge, personally by the judge. After examination under oath or affirmation, the complainant he may, under witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched or the persons or things to be seized. Okay? So ano ba ang sinasabi dito? Only the judge can issue a search warrant or warrant of arrest. But in the case of Salazar versus Achacoso, the Supreme Court said that there is an exception. The President of the Philippines or the Commissioner of Immigration may order an arrest, the arrest of an undesirable alien for purposes of his deportation. That's why, nung mga unang panahon ng presidency ni Presidente Duterte, naalala niyo pa itong si Jack Lam ba yan? Sabi niya, pag yan si Jack Lam nagpunta ng Pilipinas, ipapa-aresto ko yan. Ang dami ng mga detractors niya. Ang presidente magpapa-aresto, pwede ba yun? Eh, kung titingnan niyo ang desisyon ng Korte Suprema, pwede. Kasi si Jack Lam ay undesirable Chinese. Ngayon ba, desirable na siya? I do not know. Okay? That's why the Supreme Court declared as unconstitutional Article 38, Paragraph C of the Labor Code. Eh ano ba yun? Article 38, Paragraph C of the Labor Code authorizes the Secretary of Labor or his duly authorized representatives, and in that case, the POEA administrator, si Administrator Tomas Achacoso, ay nag-issue ng search order para saliksikin yung opisina ni Hortensia Salazar sa Mandaluyong kasi kinakasuhan siya ng illegal recruitment ng isang talent. Dahil itinago niya yung passport, ayaw niya ibigay. So, based on Article 38, Paragraph C of the Labor Code, pinahalugong niya yung opisina with the help of the NBI. So, Mrs. Salazar questioned the legality of that search order. And according to the Supreme Court, that is void. So, Article 38, Paragraph C of the Labor Code is unconstitutional because only a judge can issue a warrant of arrest or search warrant. Okay? And with the exception of the President or the Commissioner of Immigration, only for one purpose. That is to arrest an undesirable alien for his deportation. That is the only exception. Okay? Now, the right to security of person, according to that case of Secretary of Defense versus Manalo, ito isa sa kauna-unahang kaso
na dinesisyon na ng Korte Suprema tungkol dun sa writ of amparo. Okay? If you are aware of the writ of amparo, this is one of the first cases decided by the court affirming the right of the Manalo brothers to the writ of amparo. Okay? So first, the right of to security of person is freedom from fear. Kung secure ka, hindi ka matatakot. Diba? Second, the right to security of person is a guarantee of bodily and psychological integrity or security. Kung may right to security ka, hindi ka natatakot na masasaktan ka. Diba? Kaya tama minsan yung sinasabi ng pulis, sumuko ka na para huwag ka nang masaktan. Kasi kung hindi ka susuko, patuloy ka masasaktan. Okay? At applicable yan sa mga karelasyon. Ano? Kasi minsan yung mga karelasyon ninyo parang Bluetooth device na pagkakasama nyo, connected. Pero pag napalayo sa inyo, searching for other devices. Anyway, third, the right to security of person is a guarantee of protection of one's right by the government. So, gobyerno ang inaasahan na magtatanggol sa atin at magpoproteksyon sa atin. Now, searches and seizure. In the case of U.S. versus Arceo, 1904, before you and I were born, the inviolability of the home is one of the most fundamental of all the individual rights declared and recognized in political codes of civilized nations. So pag sibilisado ang isang bansa, iginagalang natin yung fundamental right against unreasonable searches and seizure. No one can enter into the house of another without the consent of its owners or occupants. Kaya nga, kahit ikaw yung owner ng apartment, pero ipinarent mo, pinalis mo, at hindi ikaw ang occupant, hindi ka po pwedeng pumasok yan basta-basta kung hindi ka pinapayagan ng mga tenants mo. Why? Abay, right nila yan. Now, the king was powerful. To continue with that case of U.S. versus Arceo, he was clothed with majesty. His will was the law. But with a few exceptions, the humble citizen or subject might shut the door of his humble cottage in the face of the monarch and defend his intrusion into that privacy which was regarded as sacred as any of the kingly prerogatives. At dito nagsimula yung a man's house is his castle. Kahit gaano pa kapangit ng iyong bahay, yan ang iyong palasyo. At para kang si Regine, dadaling kita sa aking palasyo. Okay? Ano ang purpose nito? The purpose of constitutional provision against unreasonable, unlawful searches and seizure is to prevent violation of private security in person and property and unlawful invasion of the sanctity of the home. Kasi kung wala ito at anytime, pwede nilang pasukin ng mga authorities ang ating bahay. Kawawa naman tayo. At hindi naman natin magarantiyan na lahat ng law enforcers ay matino ang isip. Di ba? So, pag hindi matino ang isip at papayagan natin, kawawa ang mga private citizens. Oh, yan. Ang dahilan yan. Now, what are the requisites for issuing a search warrant? Dito nyo magagamit ang inyong knowledge of the Rule on Criminal Procedure. Section 4, Rule 126 of the Rule on Criminal Procedure, hindi naman inamyandahan yan. A search warrant shall not issue except upon probable cause. Diba? At ang requirements na ito could also be found in Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution. Okay. So the requisites, therefore, there must be probable cause. We will discuss them later on. Presence is determined personally by the judge. Hindi pwedeng i-delegate kahit kanino. The complainant, the witnesses you may produce are personally examined by the judge in writing under oath or affirmation. Why under oath? Kasi later on, pag nagsinungaling sila sa kanilang declaration para ma-issue yung warrant, they can be held liable criminally. Diba? They can be charged with perjury. What's perjury? Perjury is lying while under oath. Kaya huwag kayo manunumpa pag nakahiga. Diba? That's perjury. Lying while under oath. Anyway, the applicant, the witnesses testify on the facts personally known to them. Otherwise, that would be pure hearsay. Pero iba ang definition ngayon ng hearsay doon sa rules on evidence. And then the warrant specifically describes the person and place to be searched, the things to be seized. Those are found in Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution. Kaya, be familiar with the caudal provision. Kasi pag alam niyo yung caudal provision, di kayo maliligaw eh. That's why sabi ko lagi sa akin mga estudyante sa labor, kasi majority of my subjects are labor classes at saka mga cases na handle natin majority labor because there are two codes in the College of Law that are rarely read. Hindi binabasa eh. Yung tax code at saka labor code, di naman binabasa yan eh. Ha? Yan ay, kaya ang knowledge ng mga estudyante dyan, pure hearsay. Okay. So what is probable cause? Probable cause, according to that case of Microsoft Corporation, it means such reason supported by facts and circumstances. Facts and circumstances. As will warrant a cautious man. Isang tao na matino ang pag-iisip, na maingat. In the belief that his action and the means taken in prosecuting it are legally just and proper. So there are facts and circumstances that would lead you to believe that maybe a crime is committed. Diba? Probable cause is concerned with probability, not absolute or moral certainty. That's the reason why si Piskal, napakadali minsan ang trabaho. Hindi natin minamalit ang trabaho ni Piskal, pero mas madali ang trabaho ni Piskal kaysa kay Judge. Because the Judge can only convict if there is proof beyond reasonable doubt. But the Fiscal can file the case only based on probable cause. And in a line of cases decided by the court, probable cause does not mean certainty. It only means probability of existence of the elements of the crime. Okay? It is based on opinion in that case of Pimentel versus Comelec. So opinion ni Fiscal, baka may kasalanan, o di file natin. Kaya nga, sa Fiscal, in case of doubt, file it. Pero sa Judge, in case of doubt, acquit the accused. Diba? So yun ang kaibahan ng trabaho ng Judge at ng Fiscal. Si Fiscal, in case of doubt, file mo. Anyway, di-dismiss naman ng korte yan kung wala kang basis. Okay, kaya nakakahiya. But anyway, kung talagang in doubt ka, pag dinismiss mo na yan, wala na eh. So, i-file mo na. Pero kay Judge, ano yon? Yung Blackstone's formulation. Ang sabi ni William Blackstone, isang English jurist, it is better to free 10 guilty people than to imprison one innocent soul. That's the Blackstone formulation or Blackstone's formula. Okay? The end does not justify the means. Now, the public prosecutor during the preliminary investigation does not decide whether there is evidence beyond reasonable doubt. Probable cause is shallow than proof beyond reasonable doubt as to the quantum of proof. Okay, hope this is clear, Okay. Hearing is not required. So, in order to determine probable cause, the judge need not do a hearing. Diba? Kasi si Fiscal, para ma-determine niya yung probable cause, nag-hearing na siya eh. You have that concept of preliminary investigation, di ba? Kung yung kaso, ang penalty ay papasok doon sa 444, punishable by 4 years, 4 months, and ilang araw. O yan. So, pag-preliminary investigation siya. Nakita ni Judge parang kulang. Anong gagawin niya? Maghingi pa siya ng additional evidence, but hindi naman siya required na mag-hearing pa. Now, determination of probable cause is personally done by the judge. It cannot be delegated to anyone, not even the clerk of court. Kasi the Constitution is clear that the judge must personally determine the existence of probable cause. Diba? The emphasis evinces the intent of the framers to place a greater degree of responsibility upon trial judges. Kaya hindi pwedeng maging tamad si judge dito. Siya dapat ang mag-determine at hindi niya pwedeng i-delegate to sa kanyang clerk of court. Okay? Pag nag-desisyon na lang sa kanilang kay clerk of court. Okay. Then, after personal examination under oath of affirmation, but I already discussed it with you. Otherwise, kakasuhan natin yung nagsisinungaling, di ba? And of course, seriously, ano ba ang kaibahan ng oath sa affirmation? Palagi natin nakikita yan eh. No? So, to cut the long story short, you take an oath if you believe in a divine being or God. But if you don't believe in God, at para kang taga Samar Leyte area, I don't believe in God daw kasi waray kwarta, waray bugas, waray God. Okay. Ay, joke lang, ako magalit sa ating mga waray-waray. They do not believe in God. So, kanino ka mag-take ng oath? So, you just affirm. Yan ang kaibahan ng affirmation sa oath. Okay. Kaya nga, kahit doon sa pagka-presidente, he will take an oath or affirmation eh. Because chances are, there will be a person who would be elected who does not believe in God. So, mag-affirm lang siya, hindi siya mag-take ng oath. Pero sa lawyers, pwede ba yan? Hindi. Lawyers oath eh. Wala naman lawyers affirmation eh. So, that's why lawyers are very prayerful. Okay. So, on the basis of personal knowledge, di ba? Probable cause must be shown to be within the personal knowledge of the witnesses and the complainant. Hindi po pwede yung sabi-sabi lang. Okay? And then, describe particularly the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. The warrant should particularly describe. Otherwise, hindi magiging invalid yung warrant. Okay. Then, particularity is requirement for probable cause. Ayan. So, if the applicant or official is unable to state with sufficient precision the place to be searched and why he reasonably believes that the contraband or evidence of criminal activity will be found therein, it is highly doubtful that he possesses probable cause for a warrant. Kasi hindi niya malaman kung saan dyan at ano ang kukunin. Hindi siya sigurado. So, in case of doubt, don't issue it. Now, description needed for search warrant, hindi kasi alam nyo, may mga pagkakataon talaga na hindi mo totally ma-describe. The description of property to be seized need not be technically accurate. Na ito ay 50 square meter apartment. Paano ko naman nasukat yan, di ba? And its nature will necessarily vary according to whether the identity of the property, its character, is a matter of concern. The description is required to be specific only insofar as the circumstances will allow. Okay? So, kaya lang, may isang kaso dyan, yung People versus Estrada, na kung saan yung apartment A ang kinuhanan ng warrant or shabu or whatever. And then, wala sila nakuhang shabu. But there is an adjoining door between apartment A and apartment B. Apparently, apartments A and B are owned by the same person. So, pinuntahan nila yung apartment B, dumaan sila doon sa adjoining door. And lo and behold, naroroon yung mga hinahanap nilang illegal drugs. According to the court, you cannot use that as evidence. Why? It violates the specificity required under the Constitution. Kasi sabi niyo, yung warrant niyo, apartment A lang eh. E nando sa apartment B niyo nakuha. Despite the fact that these apartment units belong to the same person, you cannot use that as evidence without violating the constitutional requirement. Okay? Sana naging maingat pa para nakakuha din ng warrant. Yun ang sinasabi dyan. Now, article is not described in the warrant must not be seized. So, ang hinahanap nyo shabu, nakakita kayo ng illegal firearms, pwede nyo bang kunin? Sabi ng Tambasan versus People, no. The evident purpose and intent of the requirement is to limit the things to be seized. Kasi baka mamaya, pinapayagan natin kunin kahit wala doon sa warrant, ay di lahat na lang kukunin yan. Diba? So, it will give discretion on those who are implementing the warrant. Ay, hindi po pwede yan. That will violate the Constitution. And then, what are the description needed for warrant of arrest? General warrants are prescribed, sabi nila dyan. And then, may mga pagkakataon kasi, like for example, in a rape case, hindi mo naman alam yung pangalan ng taong nan-rape dun sa biktima, di ba? O alam nga naman pagkatapos ng rape, sabi niya, hoy, mama, ano bang pangalan mo kasi kakasuhan kita? So, hindi po pwede yon. So, sufficient na yung ma-describe mo kung ano itsura niya. Kaya dito papasok yung ating mga magigiting na cartographer, di ba? Based on your description of the victim, i-describe niya yung akusado, dinodrawing. Kaya minsan yung mga cartographic sketches, pare-pareho itsura. Kasi isang artist lang ang gumawa eh. Hindi katulad sa Amerika, kung totoo yung mga napapanood natin sa Netflix, na ilalagay mo lang yung mga description, yung computer na ang mag-search. So there is some sort of accuracy. Tayo, high-tech tayo eh. So kung di mo talaga kilala, nandyan naman yung John Doe. Yung asawa ni John Doe, si Jane Doe. Kala ko ba Doe, babae na yan? Okay. Kasi Deer yung lalaki. A John Doe warrant is allowed for as long as you provide a description persona. Ano ba yung description persona nito? May describe mo, siya ay 5 feet, 6 inches, or 5'7", mga ganon. O ganito ang itsura ng kanyang mukha, siya ay merong nunal sa noo, etc. that would distinguish him from all other persons. Okay? But when a judge would issue 50 a warrant, John Doe warrant against 50 John Does, sabi ng Korte Suprema clearly violative of the constitutional injunction that warrants of arrest should particularly describe the persons to be seized. Okay? Kasi 50 wala ka man lang nakilala kahit isa. Now, for final deportation, the Commission on Immigration and Deportation may issue a warrant. Sabi na natin kanina ito doon sa Salazar versus Achacoso. Na kahit hindi judge ang commissioner ng immigration, he or she is allowed to issue a warrant of arrest only for one purpose, to arrest an undesirable alien for his deportation. Okay. Now, you have an exclusionary rule. Diba? In this case of Stonehill versus Jokno, you have the fruit of the poisonous tree. Hindi po ito yung fruit na kinagat ni Eva at ni Adan. Okay? Kaya daw nagkasala ang tao kasi hindi Filipino or Chinese si Eva at si Adan. Kasi kung naging Chinese sila, hindi nila kakainin yung prutas. And sabi ng Genesis chapter 2 verse 16 and 17, of all the fruits in the garden you may freely eat, but of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you should not eat. Because the day you eat therefrom, you will surely die. Eh kung naging Chinese sila or Filipino, hindi yung fruit ang kakainin nila. Ang kakainin nila yung snake. Okay? Hindi naman kasalanan yun. At ang naunang kumagat ay yung babae. At ang gusto niya rin i-share doon sa kanyang asawa. Sabi niya, honey, I have an apple. Sabi naman ni Adan, I have a pen. Okay. Si Pico Taro pala may problema. At doon na nagsimula na kung anong bawal, yun ang masarap gawin. Diba? So what is the poisonous tree? The poisonous tree is the means, illegal means of acquiring the evidence, violating the constitutional right of the accused. And what is the poisonous fruit? The evidence that was obtained illegally. Okay? So that's how you explain it. The fruit of the poisonous tree. The poisonous tree is the illegal means. And the fruit is the evidence obtained through illegal means. Okay? Hindi yung coconut, kundi poisonous tree. Ang sabi sa Bible, you shall know them by their fruits. A good tree cannot bring forth bad fruits. Neither could a bad tree bring forth good fruits. Now, so yan yung poisonous tree doctrine na ipaliwanag ko na. So let's move on. The fruit of the poisonous tree is at least once removed from the illegally seized evidence. So pareho lang naman yan. Anyway, puntahan natin ito. What are the lawful arrests without warrant? Of course, you know that in your Rule 113, Section 5. Diba? Flagrante delicto arrest at pursuit arrest. Of course, you know that. And then, arrest of escapee. So, those are the exceptions for arrests with warrant under Rule 113, Section 5 of the Rules on Criminal Procedure. Now, according to the Supreme Court, the right against warrantless arrest and searches must be zealously guarded. Okay? So, while the power to search and seize may at times be necessary for public welfare, still it must be exercised and the law implemented without contravening the constitutional rights of the citizens. So, may ordinansa para parusahan ng pagkakulong o multa itong mga lumabas na walang face mask. That could be justified based on the circumstances. Pero naging overzealous yung mga pulis. Sa halip na i-detain, ang ginawa, pinag-push up, pinagsayaw ng kung ano-ano, napaya yung mga tao. Is that a valid penalty? I don't think so. Diba? Hindi mo pa nga kinasuhan yung tao. May presumption of innocence yan. Kahit pa nahuli mo na wala talagang mask, you are not the one who would tell whether that person accused of committing a crime is guilty or not. It's for the court to decide. Eh, bakit mo na pinagsayaw as a penalty? Oh, nako. Raitan dapat maituro. Now, if you are objecting to the warrantless arrest of your client, you must do it before your client enters his plea. Otherwise, your right to question it is deemed waived. Diba? So during arraignment, eh tingin mo illegal yung pag-aresto dun sa kliyente mo, mag-object ka na. Otherwise, pag naka-enter na siya ng plea, waive na yun. But it is different when the accused applied for bail. It is not a waiver of his right to challenge the legality of his warrantless arrest. Maliwanag tayo dyan, ha? Kasi the right to liberty is a basic constitutional right. So the moment you are deprived of your right to liberty, you have the right to post bail, especially in cases where bail is a matter of right. So when an accused posted bail, he is not waiving his right to question the legality of his post-warrantless arrest. But it's different when he enters his plea without questioning the legality of the warrantless arrest. Okay? So arrest in flagrante delicto, alam na natin yan. So we need not belabor on that. You can refer to Section 5, Paragraph A of Rule 113. Diba? So tatlong instances yan. When in the presence of the arresting officer or law enforcer, a crime has been committed, the person is actually committing or attempting to commit an offense. Obviously, you can arrest him without warrant. Siyempre, kung kukuha ka pa ng warrant, eh di wala, nakatakbo na yan. Now, what are the requisites of arrest in flagrante delicto? In the case of People versus Lagyo, for a warrantless arrest, an accused caught in flagrante delicto, the requisites must concur. Number one, the person to be arrested must execute an overt act indicating that he has committed, is actually committing or attempting to commit a crime. And such overt act is done in the presence or within the view of the arresting officer. Kasi dito, kilala ba, nabalitaan niyo ba yung mama na ang pangalan ay Lawrence Wang? Lawrence Wang. Nakapag-asawa siya ng Pilipina, si Malu. Okay? So, Lawrence Wang, asawa niya si Malu. Okay. Si Lawrence ay inakusahan, Chinese yan, Chinese. Yung tatay niya taga-Amoy, yung nanay niya taga-Fukien. So, kaya siya, ang citizenship niya, Amoy Fukien. Then, biro lang. Okay. So, anong nangyari? Sinusurveillance siya ng CIDG. Kasi nga, pinaghihinalaan ng membro siya ng Hong Kong Triad. Mga drug pusher, mga drug lords, no? So, surveillance. Ang problema, hindi kumuha ng warrant of arrest at search warrant itong CIDG. So, sa Malate, Manila, nung bumaba siya doon sa kanyang apartment, dahil under surveillance siya, positive ang police na talagang may mga drugs ito, papunta from his apartment going to his car, nung bubuksan niya ng pintuan ng kanyang kotse, he was arrested. Okay? And after he was arrested, remember, it was warrantless arrest, binuksan yung kanyang BMW. Lo and behold, several kilos of methamphetamine hydrochloride o cocaine pa yata, I'm not so sure, natagpuan doon sa trunk ng kanyang kotse. So Lawrence Wang was charged before the RTC Manila and it was referred to Judge Lagyo. Si Perfecto Lagyo. Dinismiss ni Judge Lagyo yung kaso. Kasi ang tanong niya, since when did it become a crime to walk from your apartment to your car? Why would you be arrested without warrant? Okay? So, and they cannot use the illegal drugs confiscated from his car. Why? Ang sabi ng police, it was a search incidental to a lawful arrest. But according to the Supreme Court, in affirming the decision of Judge Lagyo dismissing the case, there must be a valid arrest before you could implement a search. Because the law is clear, search incidental to a lawful arrest. It presupposes that there was a valid arrest first before the police could search validly without warrant. Kaya ang sumunod na tanong, since when did it become a crime to walk from your apartment to your car? Kasi kung crime yon, valid yung search. But since Lawrence Wang was not committing any overt act constituting a crime in the presence or near the view of the arresting officer, then the search was invalid. You get the point? Okay. So, therefore, those who are supposed to enforce the law are not justified in disregarding the rights of the individual in the name of order. Order is too high price for the loss of liberty. Ang sabi daw ni Justice Holmes, I think it is less evil that than one criminal should escape than that the government should play an ignoble part. Okay? Yan yung binanggit ko sa inyo rin kanina na kinuha kay William Blackstone. That it is better to free 10 guilty criminals than to imprison one innocent soul. Okay. Now, what about arrest and hot pursuit? Remember the elements, no? When an offense has just been committed and he has probable cause. So, probable cause to believe. Kasi hindi niya nakita eh. The difference between flagrante delicto and hot pursuit is that in flagrante delicto arrest, the officer has witnessed. Di ba? The accused actually committing, has just committed or about to commit. But in hot pursuit, he did not see. He did not witness the accused committing the crime. So what he has is probable cause to believe based on personal knowledge. Yun ang kaibahan. Ha? So hindi niya na-witness. Pero may mga circumstances that would lead him to believe that a crime has been committed by the person supposed to be arrested. Okay? Now, what are the conditions for a valid hot pursuit arrest? Number one, the offender has just committed an offense. Okay? Kasi kung wala namang na-commit na offense, paano mo arrestuhin yan? And then, the arresting officer or private person, because pwede tayo mag-citizen arrest, di ba? Has personal knowledge of facts indicating that the person to be arrested has committed it. Di ba? You have reason to believe. May tumatakbo dyan sa ano ba ito? Jerusalem Street, yung malapit dyan sa USJR. Di ba? May mamang tumatakbo, may daladalang shoulder bag ng babae, tapos may babae naman nandun, sumisigaw, nasabi niya, snatcher, snatcher. So nakita nung pulis, may tumatakbo, may sumisigaw na snatcher, hindi niya naman nakita na in-snatch. So tinakbo niya, hinabol niya yung mama na tumatakbo, may dalang shoulder bag ng babae. Hot pursuit. Ngayon, sabi nung mama, naka-MBR na ka, mamang pulis, akin to. So, pwede bang kasuhan si police for arbitrary arrest? Hindi po. Kasi he was acting on a lawful call of duty. Kasi he has reason to believe based on personal knowledge of facts and circumstances. Diba? May sumisigaw ng snatcher. May tumatakbo. Lalaki, may dalang shoulder bag na pambabae. Normal ba yun? O, hindi pwede niyang habulin. And it turns out na kanya pala talaga yung bag at hindi siya snatcher, ay hindi niya pwedeng kasuhan si mamang police. Okay. Now, in the case of Umil versus Ramos, you remember this case, no? Ito ay kaso nung Alex Bungkayaw Brigade, yung mga Sparrow unit, no? Yung NPA. Alex Bungkayaw Brigade is a unit of the New People's Army at meron niyang Sparrow unit na tinatawag na ang trabaho ay mag-assassinate ng mga tiwaling pulis at militar. So, ang ginawa dito, may in-assassinate na 2 Metrocom police na part ng Metropolitan Manila Command. 2 Sparrow unit. So, may mga naka-witness pero walang gusto magsalita. And then, slum area ito sa Caloocan, sa Grace Park. After 2 or 3 days, nag-conduct ng follow-up operation ang militar na huli itong mga petitioners, no? At that time, bakit si Ramos ang kinasuhan? Siya ang chief of staff at the time. Okay. Panahon ni Cory Aquino. So, anong nangyari? Nag-petition for habeas corpus itong mga hinuli. Kasi nga, paano mo aarestuhin ang mga tao na walang warrant? Actually, ni-arrest sila, walang warrant. Eh, nangyari yung pagpatay dun sa 2 pulis 2 or 3 days ago. Bago sila After, I should say. Okay? So, it reached the Supreme Court. To the very strongly worded objection or dissenting opinion of Justice Isagani Cruz. You know naman, di ba? Talagang libertarian. Okay. Ang decision kasi ng Korte Suprema, the crime committed was rebellion. And rebellion is a continuing offense. So regardless of what you are doing, whether you are eating, drinking, or sleeping, if the crime is rebellion, you are still committing rebellion. So regardless kung kailan nila napatay yung police that is in furtherance of rebellion, they can still be arrested without warrant. That's why, ito ang sabi ni Justice Saganicos, that is a dangerous doctrine. I'm sorry, I'm quoting from a dissenting opinion. Okay? Yeah. I cannot quote from a dissenting opinion, but I believe that the dissenting opinion of Justice Cruz should be the one to be the decision of the majority, but unfortunately it was not. So, being a lawyer is like committing the crime of rebellion. Whatever you do, you are a lawyer. You can be penalized even for your private life. Okay? Now, escaping. Diba? Flight is a sign of guilt. So, pagka tatakas ka, well, ang presumption, guilty ka. Diba? Kaya nga itong si Aling Laila de Lima, si Senador de Lima, nagka-problema, hindi lang dahil doon sa kanyang pagtuligsa kay Presidente, merong disbarment case yan. Bakit? Naalala niyo si Gloria Arroyo. Ha? Matapos na wala namang kasong, wala pang warrant of arrest, eh pinagbawalan niyang umalis ng Pilipinas. Kasi ang pupuntahan daw ng mga lugar ay wala tayong extradition treaty. Okay? So may sakit yan, ha? Pero magbabiyahe sa aeroplano. Ngayon, ang pumunta itong mga abogado ni Gloria Arroyo sa Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court issued a TRO against De Lima, na hindi mo, bakit si De Lima? Kasi siya Secretary of Justice na hindi mo po pwedeng pagbawalang umalis si Gloria Arroyo kasi wala namang kaso, wala namang warrant of arrest, walang hold departure order. Okay? But it was defied by Laila de Lima kasi gusto talaga nila huwag makaalis si Gloria. And eventually, nag-issue ng warrant of arrest itong si Judge Mupas ng Pasay RTC. So, yun na, naging legal na yung hindi pagpapalis kay Gloria kasi may warrant na. But prior to that, Laila de Lima defied a TRO from the Supreme Court kasi hindi naman siya korte. She cannot issue a hold departure order. Ang in-issue niya nga ay watch list order. And yung watch list, only the court can issue a hold departure order. Diba? That is if there is a pending case. Eh at the time na aalis si Gloria, wala pang pending case eh. So for defying the Supreme Court, De Lima was the subject of a disbarment proceeding. That's why nung mag-search for Chief Justice, her name was omitted from the candidates. Bakit? Eh pagka naging Chief Justice ka, eh, may disbarment ka, paano yun? Okay? Ayan. So, what about consented search? In the case of People versus Malasuge, when the right against warrantless search has been voluntarily waived. For example, checkpoint. Sabi ng mga pulis, pwede ho bang buksan yung trunk ng kotse nyo? Eh sabi mo, sige, buksan nyo. Wala naman akong dala-dala dyan. So, you consented to it. Diba? So, you cannot thereafter say na wala kayong search warrant because you gave your consent. Then, in the case of People versus Compassion, the fact that the accused failed to object to the entry into his house does not amount to a permission to make a search therein. So, dumating yung mga pulis, nagulat yung tao. Hindi na siya makakibo. Eh, mga pulis ito eh. Full battle gear, marami dalang armas, pumasok sa bahay niya. Hindi na siya nakapag-object. Ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, it does not mean to say na hindi ka nag-object ay you are consenting. Okay? Kasi hindi naman sila nagpaalam eh. Basta lang pumasok eh. Liwanag. Now, searches at airports. So, yan. Hindi si Laila de Lima, si Laila Johnson naman yan. Sa airport, di ba? Ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, when you go to these kinds of places, eh talagang isi-search ka dyan. So kung ayaw mong ma-search, huwag kang pumunta dyan. Kasi ang pinagbabawal ng konstitusyon natin is unreasonable search and seizure. When you go to the airport, eh reasonable ang search dyan. Especially in the light of the circumstances of terrorism, etc., etc., di ba? Secured places ito eh. Kaya darating siguro ang panahon, kasi ngayon halos patanggal na eh. So darating ang panahon na hindi ka na pwede magdamit pag pupunta ka ng airport, no? Parang bar exam din yan eh. Dati-rati kahit anong bag, pwede na. O ngayon, kung itutuloy pa rin ng Supreme Court, dapat transparent yung bag ninyo. Why? Para hindi na sila mag-search yung nasa loob, makikita na. So kaya if I were you, pumasa na kayo kaagad sa bar exam. Kasi who knows? In the years to come, baka hindi lang bag ang transparent. Diba? Saka kung ano pa ang i-require ng Supreme Court na maging transparent. Eh, totoo naman. Kasi even in the bar exam, may pagsabog, di ba? I still remember bar exam in 2010. two of our students were harmed. At isa yung napuruhan, si Raisa Laurel, no? And she's now a counselor of San Juan City. And I don't think, hindi pa rin ata siya abogada, pero naputulan siya ng 2 paa because of that explosion. So reasonable yung mga searches na ito. Okay? And then, search incidental to a lawful arrest. As I told you earlier, there must be a valid warrantless arrest before the law enforcers can effect a search without warrant. Hindi po pwedeng mauna yung warrantless search saka pa lang magkakaroon ng arrest. Hindi pwede. There must be a valid warrantless arrest before you can have a valid warrantless search. That's why, if you have corpus delicti in your car, do not violate traffic rules. Why? Ay, marami kang dalang mga illegal firearms sa kotse mo. Ha? You beat the red light. Ay, di syempre, arrestuhan ka. That's a crime. So, pwede ka nang i-search ngayon. Okay? Tandaan yan. If you have corpus delicti in your vehicle, obey traffic rules. Okay. Valid warrantless arrest must come first. Yan sinasabi ko sa inyo. People versus Chua Ho San. Hindi po pwede na mauna yung search bago ka mang-aresto. Okay? Ayan. Then, searches of vessels and aircraft for violation of fishery, immigration, and customs laws. Of course, custom search, hindi mo kailangan ng warrant yan. Diba? The time properly effected, the search and seizure without search warrant, and it exercise police authority under customs laws. Why? You know the reasons why and the circumstances behind this rule by the Supreme Court. Okay? Inspection of buildings. So, kasi baka mamaya, di ba? May mga problema. Lalo na kung wala lang itong pandemic na ito, ang alam ko, ang engineering department ng City of Manila, magkakandak na naman ng mga inspection of buildings yan. Kasi yung mga dormitory, ay hindi tama. May mga fire hazard, etc. So it's within the power of the local government unit to regulate. Okay? Search of moving vehicle. Ayan. Sino ba ito? Si Vice President pala yan. So what are the requirements? Caballos versus Court of Appeals, where the officer merely draws aside the curtain of a vacant vehicle which is parked in the public fairgrounds. Simply looks into a vehicle. At hindi niya binubuksan, no? So, nagpa-flashlight lang siya. Kasi pag binuksan niya, wala siyang search warrant, that would be an illegal search. Okay? Then of course, where the occupants are not subjected to physical or body search, hindi kayo pinabababa. Kasi kung pabababain kayo, anong danger sought to be avoided? Evil sought to be avoided. Eh baka magtanim o magplant ng evidence, hindi ba? Where the inspection of the vehicle is limited to visual search or visual inspection, hindi pwedeng pabuksan. And where the routine check is conducted in a fixed area. So just like checkpoint, hindi po pwede ang moving checkpoint. And the checkpoint, there must be previous announcement na may checkpoint. Bakit? Due process. Kung ayaw mo ma-checkpoint, hindi ka pupunta dyan sa lugar na yan. Okay? Then of course, visual search at checkpoints. Ayan, sabi ng Korte Suprema, hindi lahat ng checkpoint ay illegal. No? It should be stated at the outset that nowhere in the question decision in this court legalize all checkpoints. So may mga checkpoint na illegal, may mga checkpoint na legal. So what are the requirements? Under exceptional circumstances, as where the survival of organized government is on the balance, kasi at that time, remember, usong-uso niyan yung itong NPA na nandito sa urban areas, no? Yun nga, kasama yung mga Alex Moncayo Brigade, yung Sparrow Unit, so pinayagan ang mga checkpoints. Kaya lang, under strict regulation, kasama na dyan, yung mga nagmaman ng checkpoint ay naka-uniform, mayroong identification, may mga IDs, or name tags, tsaka hindi moving, tapos in well-lighted area, and then of course, may previous notice that there is a checkpoint. Kaso naman yung checkpoint natin, checkpoint ahead. Isang metro lang, nandun na yung checkpoint. So paano ka pa makaiwas dyan? Okay. Now, not all checkpoints are illegal. As I was saying earlier, di ba? Okay. Kaya lang yun nga, bawal ang body search, and the inspection of the vehicle is limited to visual search. You are not required to go out of your vehicle. You are not required to open any part of your vehicle. Kaya lang sabi ng pulis, ma'am, pwede pabuksan mo yung trunk. May titingnan lang kami. Pumayag ka, binuksan mo. Natakot ako kasi may baril eh. Pwede mo naman sabihin na, ay bawal ho yan. Kasi wala kayong search warrant. Ayun, pinilit pa rin kayong buksan. You have to manifest your objection. Maaring di mo siya pwedeng pigilan dahil pinwersa niya, but you are objecting. So you have not waived your right, you have not consented to it. Okay? Yan. Then, conduct of aerial or target zoning and saturation drive. So ang ginagawa, nagbabahay-bahay, no? Yan ang gusto yata ng isang opisyal ng DILG, magbabahay-bahay na para malaman kung sino ang may COVID. Kalokohan talaga, no? So ito ang ginawa dyan sa slum area sa Tondo, nag-saturation drive, pinalabas yung mga may tattoo for verification. Okay? So, itong si Bobby Guanzon, former congressman, dating broadcaster yan, nag-file ng petition sa korte saying na illegal yung ginawa ng mga pulis kasi wala naman silang warrant. Bakit nila inaresto yung mga tao? Sabi nila, hindi naman inaresto, inimbitahan lang. Yung bang imbitasyon ng pulis, pwede mo bang tanggihan? At nung inimbita ka ba ng pulis papunta doon sa presinto, meron bang party doon? Wala naman eh. So adversarial, di ba? Pero ang sabi dito ng Korte Suprema, ito daw ay intended to flush out subversives and criminal elements, particularly because of the blatant assassinations of public officers. Sana itong desisyon na ito ay pro hac visa lamang. Meaning, applicable only at that time dahil wala naman masyadong assassinations na ngayon, di ba? Ang uso naman daw ngayon ay tukbang. The police cannot respond to riots or violent demonstrations if they do not move in sufficient numbers. So maraming pulis ang pumunta, nag-saturation drive, yung may mga tattoo, dinala, yung mga mukhang kriminal. Ang problema dyan, sino ba ang mukhang kriminal at sino ang mukhang hindi? Dinala sa presinto, binerify. Nung ma-verify na malinis ka, uwi ka na. Para doon sa community, suspect ka na. Bakit? Dinala ka ng pulis eh. Diba? Okay. So yun yan. Now, a show of force is sometimes necessary and so on. So ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, in effect, sa mga saturation drive na yan, kung sa tingin mo na-violate yung karapatan mo, you have the right to file cases against those who violated it. You have to remember, the reality of it is that slum areas ito yung mga urban poor. Takot nga sa pulis, kakasuhan mo pa yung pulis, di ba? At saka saan sila kukuha ng gagastos yan? Alam niyo naman dito sa Pilipinas, pagka nag-file ka ng kaso, may gastos talaga yan. Okay? That's the reality. Now, what about stop and frisk? Remember that case of Terry versus Ohio? Na yung police dun sa Ohio and Cleveland, Ohio. Nakakita, gabi na yan, ng isang mama, pabalik-balik, no? Lakad siya ng lakad. And then, nagtaka sila, ba't kailangan ng lakad? Close naman yung store where he was walking. So, inapprehend nila, and lo and behold, may handgun na nakasuksok doon sa kanyang belt. And sabi ng Korte Suprema ng Amerika, it was a valid stop and frisk. Sa atin, inadapt din natin yan that this is in the light of the police officer's experience. So, yung police, lalo na yung mga matatagal ng police, alam nila kung sino ang may kasalanan, alam nila kung sino yung walang kasalanan, di ba? para sana all, no? Ayan. Now, ito naman yung plain view doctrine. Now, what are the requisites for plain view? Okay? Ayan. Ano ang requisites nito? Number one, there was valid prior intention based on valid warrantless arrest in which the police are legally present in the pursuit of their official duties. In other words, may justification bakit yung police nandun sa lugar na yon. Yung police nandun sa nightclub, may justification ba siya doon? May operation daw. Anong klaseng operation? And then the evidence was inadvertently discovered. So habang nagpapatrol yung dalawang police in their routine patrolling of the streets, may nakita silang nakatigil na kotse at gumagalaw. Okay? So, may valid justification. And then nakita nila yung kotse, may gumagalaw, madilim, etc. Pinuntahan nila. May nananaksak. It was inadvertently discovered. And the evidence must be apparent. based on the circumstances. And plain view is justified were seizure of evidence without further search. Hindi na sila nag-alog. Nakita nila, nung pinuntahan nila yung kotse, abay may nagsasaksakan. O di pwede na nilang arrestuhin yun. So based on that doctrine of plain view. Iba yung fair view sa plain view. Pero kung wala silang valid justification, bakit siya nandun sa nightclub and then may pumasok na may baril, abay baka hindi po pwede na mag-apply ang plain view doctrine dyan. Kasi in the first place, illegal yung presence mo. Diba? Okay. Then of course, the law enforcement officer, itong mga babaeng inaresto na ito, kung naalala ninyo, yan yung mga nagsayaw dun sa yung Baywalk bodies, no? Nagsayaw sila nakatopless. So inaresto sila ng pulis. Kasi naman plain view talaga. Okay. And then in the case of People versus Doria, objects falling in plain view of an officer was a right to be in the position to have that view are subject to seizure even without a search warrant. Bakit? Plain view nga eh. Diba? Nakita nila eh. So, ba't pa sila kukuha ng warrant? Maliwanag. Now, the unreasonable search and seizure could only be invoked against the state. So, sa case of People versus Bungkarawan. So, ito naman sa kasong ito, may itong si Bashir Bungkarawan ay from Manila going to Iligan. Ang final destination niya ata ay Marawi. Kaya lang walang port ang Marawi. So sa Iligan muna siya. Sa barko. And then, dala-dala siyang bag. So kung nung sila ay mag-disembark na from the vessel, barko, may babaeng nagreklamo na nawala yung bag niya. So nagreklamo dun sa security guard. Yung guard naman, hindi tinulungan yung babae na nagrereklamo, nawawala yung bag niya. Biglang dumaan itong si Bashir Bungkarawan, may dala-dalang bag. Sabi ng babae, parang ganun yung nawawala kong bag. Sabi ng gwardiya kay Bashir, sir, pwede ba natin tingnan yung bag mo? Kasi sabi ni ma'am, parang yan daw katulad niyan yung bag niyang nawawala. Tingnan lang natin. Ito namang mama, sige na, gwardiya ito. Sige, pinakita niya. So, damit ang laman. Pero nung inangat, maraming shabu sa ilalim. So the guard called the attention of the maritime police. So tinawagan itong mga police at inaresto si Bashir Bungkarawan. So ang kanyang contention is that he was arrested illegally and the search was illegal. Kasi wala namang warrant eh. Diba? Kaya lang sabi ng Korte Suprema, yung prohibition na yan is only against the state, not against private individuals. Sino ba ang nag-search sa'yo? Security guard. Hindi naman siya agent of the state or law enforcer. Therefore, the prohibition does not apply to him. So, maaaring na-damage ka, hindi kasuhan mo na lang siya ng case for damages, but you cannot invoke the violation of your right against warrantless search. Okay? So, it can only be invoked against the government. Okay. Ayan. So, let's continue. Nandiyan pa ba kayo? I assume, nandiyan pa kayo. Nakikita ko pa kayo eh. Okay. So, in the case of People versus Marte, the right against unreasonable search and seizure is a restraint upon the government. So, it does not apply to private citizens. Since yung nag-search kay Bashir Bungkarawan ay isang gwardiya na private citizen, hindi naman siya law enforcer, hindi ma-invoke ni Bashir itong prohibition na to in the Constitution and in the Rules of Court. Okay. So Article 3, Section 3, of course, the privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by law. So ito yung exclusionary rule. This is an absolute exclusionary rule as compared to the exclusionary rule in Section 12, Paragraph 3. Okay? So, ano sabi dito? Any evidence obtained in violation of this or the preceding section, meaning Section 2, shall be inviolable as be inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. So, this is an absolute exclusionary rule. Na anumang ebidensya ang makuha mo, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin sa anumang purpose, sa anumang proceeding. Okay? Now, anong scope nito? It covers all forms of private communication and correspondence. Okay? Now, exception if there is a lawful order of the court or when public safety or order requires as provided by law. In other words, court order or a law. Huh? Yeah. Now, when you enter into a contract of marriage, do you surrender your right to privacy of communication? The answer is no. Solueta versus Court of Appeals. The intimacies between husband and wife do not justify any one of them in breaking in the drawers and cabinets of the other in ransacking them for any telltale of evidence of marital infidelity. Baka nangangiliwa si Mr. o si Mrs., hindi po pwede yan. A person by contracting marriage does not shed his or her right, integrity, his right to privacy as an individual, and the constitutional protection is ever available to him or to her. In other words, even if you entered into a contract of marriage, you do not surrender your right to privacy of communication. At yan ang ini-insist ko sa misis ko. You do not have the right to interfere with my private communication. Yung pwede buksan ng mga cellphone ko. Ang Supreme Court na nagsabi niyan. Kaya lang para makasiguro tayo, meron akong cellphone na legal at meron tayong extra legal. Okay. Mahirap mapahamak. So, all the more kung hindi kasal, di ba? So, yun ang mag-asawa, hindi nagpapakialaman yung pang hindi kasal. Now, what about the anti-wiretapping law? Kaya ito anti-wiretapping kasi at that time, 1965, wala pang wireless telephone. Lahat ng telepono may wire. So, pinaparusahan yung unauthorized by the parties, private communication na mag-tap, mag-intercept, mag-overhear, etc. In other words, pakinggan yung private communication. Diba? Wala pa kasi niyang cellphone. Now, ano ang parusa? Ay pagkakulong ho yan, 6 months to 6 years imprisonment with accessory penalties. You know that? Diba? Okay. So, it applies to everyone. Now, any communication or spoken words according to Section 4 ay inadmissible for any purpose and any proceeding. Why? Again, the end does not justify the means. So, papasok na naman yung fruit of the poisonous tree. However, under Republic Act 9372, also known as the Human Security Act, pwedeng itap kung merong authorization, written authorization from the Court of Appeals. Okay? Ito, inamyendahan ito kasi yung batas niyan was amended by Republic Act 11479, the Anti-Terrorism Law. Now, under Section 16 of the Anti-Terrorism Law, pinapayagan din ang military, ang police, or other law enforcement agencies na mag-tap ng private communication, again, kung may authority, written authorization from the Court of Appeals. So, same provision, no? Kasi ito, Human Security Act, as amended by the Anti-Terrorism Law, Republic Act 11479, ay pinapayagan din. But of course, there must be authorization, written authority from the Court of Appeals. Ayan. So, dito, 30 days lang ang binibigay, no? Pero dun sa Anti-Terrorism Law, ay wala ng ganyang period. So, inalis na yan. Now, ito rin, wala na rin ito na dapat i-inform mo yung subject na wina-wiretap mo siya at wala kang nakuhang ebidensya laban sa kanya. It's now amended by the Anti-Terrorism Law. Okay. So, and then, ito rin, yung custody of intercepted records, dapat yan sa Court of Appeals. Then 48 hours. Okay, what about the right to privacy? Sabi ng Korte Suprema, Ople versus Torres, the right to privacy is one of the most threatened rights of man living in a mass society. Kung ikaw isang tao, nakatira ka sa lipunang maraming tao, delikado ang pagkapribado mo. No? And then, saan ang gagaling ang threat? From the government. Kasi sinusurveillance kami sa ng gobyerno. From journalists. Yung mga reporter na na-injured na nga yung tao, tatanungin pa, how do you feel? Diba? Medyo insensitive. Then employers, kasi when you apply for a job, bina-background check ka niya. Social scientists, yung mga social weather station, Pulse Asia. Why? Pag nag-survey sila, nangunguha ng data . Given the record-keeping power of the computer, only the indifferent will fail to perceive the danger of AO308. Ano ito? Ito yung national ID na nanggaling sa executive. Ngayon, may national ID tayo, right? But according to the Supreme Court, sa kasong ito, kasi si Ramos ang nag-issue ng Administrative Order 308, creating a national ID. According to the court in that case, it cannot come from the executive. If there is a need for a national ID, it should come from the legislative body. So now that Congress is the one that enacted a law calling for a national ID for all Filipinos, then I don't think the Supreme Court would interfere and would revise this decision. Diba? Kasi ang sinasabi dyan, pwedeng manggaling sa Congress ang national ID system. So we now have a national ID system. Kaya lang hindi pa ini-implement. Bakit? Malay ko, dapat last year pa, July pa last year, wala tayo, may ID na. Hanggang ngayon, wala. And then, idagdag pa natin dito yung Data Privacy Law. Republic Act 10173. That the Data Privacy Law, according to Section 4 of Republic Act 10173, shall apply to all personal information of all persons, whether natural or juridical. So at doon in-identify ano yung mga personal data. Kasi whether you are a natural person or a juridical person, you are a data subject. And under that law, data subjects have rights. Okay? Ayan. So what are the zones of privacy? The revised penal code makes it a crime of the violation of the secrets by an officer, no? In revelation of trade or industrial secrets, trespass to dwelling, etc. Then you have the wiretapping law, the secrecy of bank deposits law, idagdag nyo pa. Kasi lumang desisyon na ito, idagdag nyo pa yung data privacy law. Kaya nga, alam nyo, under the data privacy law, kapag ka nag-Zoom meeting tayong ganito at kinapture ko ito at ipinost ko sa aking Facebook account without your consent, I am violating your rights as data subject. Okay? So kaya do not post anything like this that would reveal the personal data of other people without their consent. Otherwise, you might be at risk of violating their right under the data privacy law. Ayan, Republic Act 10173. It was enacted in 2012 but it took effect only in 2016. At nag-create ito ng National Privacy Commission. Ayan, so masarap magtrabaho dun kasi may privacy. And then, under Republic Act 11055, there is a national ID system na lahat ng ating mga IDs, government-issued IDs, would be integrated into one ID, the PhilSys, or the Philippine Identification System. Ang problema natin, ang mag-i-implement ng PhilSys na ito, yung Philippine Statistics Authority, hanggang ngayon, syempre, dahil dito sa mga circumstances na ito, hindi maipatupad. Now, a national ID system is not a violation of the right to privacy. Kaya lang ang sabi ng korte, it should come from Congress, it should not come from the executive. Now that we have a law, I don't think the Supreme Court would declare that law to be unconstitutional. Anyway, walang challenge dyan. Unlike the anti-terrorism law, there are now 26 petitions lodged before the Supreme Court saying that the law is unconstitutional. So, pero ang depensa naman ng Solicitor General, I think, ang sasabihin niya, wala namang kayong standing to sue. Why? You are not affected by it. Okay? Isa sa mga requisites for judicial review, di ba, yung standing to sue, locus standi. Dahil hindi naman kayo apektado, sino ba ang may standing to sue? The one whose right has been violated or threatened with violation because of the implementation of the law or an ordinance. But since wala namang apekto pa sa inyo, you cannot say that my future rights will be affected. Diba? Okay. Now, what about the exclusionary rule? So, absolute exclusionary rule ito, that any evidence obtained in violation of this, privacy of communication or the warrantless searches and seizure, then inadmissible for any purpose in any proceeding. Okay? So, we are now ready to move on to Article 3, Section 4. Don't worry, tatapusin natin lahat yan. I think meron pa tayong meeting tomorrow, so we'll finish everything, no? Including administrative law. No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. Well, truly, you assemble, there's public assembly in order to what? Seek redress from government. You do not conduct public assembly to praise the government. Diba? Ang sabi ni Evelyn Beatrice Hall, ito yung biographer ni Voltaire, kaya minsan ina-attribute kay Voltaire yung I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. Siya daw ang nagsabi niyan. I don't know. Hindi ko naman narinig. This embodies the essence of the spirit of freedom of speech and expression in a free and democratic society. Diba? Ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, freedom of the press is crucial. Dahil daw, when on its face, it is clear that a governmental act is nothing more than a naked means to prevent free exercise of speech, it must be nullified. Any kind of prior restraint is unconstitutional. Prior restraint, di ba? Kaya lang, pag may sinabi ka, may ipinablish ka, you can be held liable. Because until this date, libel in the Philippines is a criminal act. Unlike in other democracies, libel is just a civil case. But here, it is a criminal act. Okay. Now, freedom of the press versus responsibility of the press. Sabi ng Korte Suprema, Tulfo versus People. Opo, si Erwin Tulfo, convicted for libel. Ano sabi ng Korte Suprema? The exercise of this right or any right enshrined in the Bill of Rights indeed comes with an equal burden of responsible exercise of that right. The recognition of a right is not free license for the one claiming it to run roughshod over the rights of others. And I'm reminded of the case of Maria Ressa. Okay? Isinisigaw nila violation of press freedom, curtailment of freedom of the press. Ako, I am always after freedom. But when I read the decision, I do not know them personally. I do not know the facts of the case. But I read the decision of the judge of Manila RTC, 38 pages of them, and I found out, tama si judge. Kung totoo yung mga ebidensya, kasi biruin mo, tatawagin mo yung isang tao, hindi ko naman kilala mga involved dito, tatawagin mo yung isang tao na drug pusher, involved in human trafficking, o tapos nakikiusap yung abogado ng tao ito, I even forgot the name, na i-publish mo naman yung aming side, na meron kaming clearance from PIDEA na itong kliyente ko ay hindi involved sa drug trafficking, hindi i-publish. So one-sided lang. Okay? So, sabi ni judge, libelous. So ano pa ang problema natin? Ngayon, magtatago ka sa freedom of the press. Freedom of the press means responsibility of the press. Hindi porke may ID ka ng press, maninira ka na lang ng ibang tao na wala kang liability. That's not true. Okay? Now, as for the other issue of prescription, let the court decide. But on the evidentiary matters, yung facts of the case, as far as I'm concerned, there was basis for conviction. At ito ay hindi attack on freedom of the press. Okay. Now, so freedom of expression has gained recognition as a fundamental principle in every democracy. Ang sabi ni Thomas Jefferson, we cannot both be free and ignorant. Hindi tayo pwedeng maging malaya and ignorant at the same time. So kung malaya ka, dapat may alam ka. Okay. Now, public assembly. It is governed by an old law. Batas Pambansa Bilang 880, the Public Assembly Act of 1985. So here comes the definition of public assembly: any rally, demonstration, march, parade, procession, etc. Okay? So yan ang public assembly. Now, public place. Ano naman ang public place? Shall include any highway, boulevard, avenue, etc. Park, plaza, square, rectangle, circle. Ay, hindi kasali yun. Okay? Yung representative ng Negros Occidental, no? Na humiga dun sa panahon pa ni Pino yan eh. Kasi sa sobrang tuwa niya at gumanda ang kalsada, di nahiga. Dumapa pala, hindi pala humiga. Now, when you will conduct a public assembly, you need a permit. Permit is required and you have to apply for permit 5 days before that public assembly. But no permit shall be required if the public assembly shall be made in a freedom park, duly established by law, or in a private property, or in the campus of a government-owned and operated educational institution. So meron namang exception doon sa permit requirement. You do not need to get a permit to have a public assembly if you will be conducting your public assembly in these places, freedom park. At dito sa batas na ito, nire-require ang lahat ng local government units. And that means all cities and municipalities of the country. Diba? City. Ano daw mas malaki sa city? Utsu. Okay. Kaya sa city, Utsu. Anyway. So, anong nangyari? Nire-require sila that within 60 days. Kailan ba nag-take effect ito? November 1985. 60 days from that time, dapat lahat ng local government units ay magkaroon ng freedom park so that those who would like to conduct a public assembly may do so without permit kasi nasa freedom park sila. Okay? But, ang problema natin dito, nung magkaroon ng kaso, yung no? Primicius versus Pugoso, nasabi ko na ito sa inyo, no? That permit is not needed pag nasa private place ka. Then you have to apply for permit within 5 working days. Then the mayor, kasi municipality or city yan, shall act on the application 2 working days. Pag hindi siya nag-action, within that period, the permit is deemed granted. Okay? Now, if the mayor rejects or did not issue the permit, itong mga taong ito ay merong 24 hours, within 48 hours, to appeal to the court. Okay? 48 hours to go to the court to question the denial of their application for permit. And the court must decide within 24 hours. Now, the law enforcement agencies or authorities cannot interfere at ang dapat sila ay 100 meters away from the activity area. Alam niyo, napapansin ko, pagka may mga strike sa mga factory or establishment, may picket line sila kasi pwede ka naman mag-strike na walang picket line, di ba? So may picket sila. May nakalagay ng mga tarpaulin or whatever placards nakalagay, military and police 50 meters away. Nagtataka ako saan nila nakuha yung 50 meters. Ang requirement dito sa BP 880, 100 meters. Di ba? So I do not know kung saan nila nakuha yung 50 meters na yan. Baka discounted. Because the law requires 100 meters para hindi kayo magkainisan. Kasi habang mas malapit, nagkakainisan yan . Now, not every expression of opinion is public assembly. So, okay, not every expression of opinion is public assembly. So, ang public assembly, rally, may definition tayo dyan. Now, right to public assembly is not absolute. Bayan versus Ermita. Nagkaroon ng oral argument yan sa Supreme Court. Kasi, di ba ito sina Father Robert Reyes, and so on, kasama itong bayan, nag-rally sila sa Mendiola. And then they were canonized. Nauna pa silang na-canonize kay St. Pedro Calungsod na kababayan ninyo. Kaya lang, ang ginamit sa kanila ng mga police Maynila, water cannon. So they went to the Supreme Court questioning that. Saka yung ginawa ni Gloria Arroyo na calibrated preemptive response or CPR. Sabi ng Korte Suprema, wala yan. Kasi maximum tolerance ang required under the law. Now, so, they conducted public assembly at inaresto sila, kinasuhan, nagpali silang ka sa Supreme Court, nagkaroon ng oral argument, tinanong ang Solicitor General. Kasi nire-require ng batas na 60 days from the implementation of the law, which was November 1985, lahat ng local government units ay magkaroon ng freedom park. Kasi pag dininay ni Mayor yung permit, pwede sila sa freedom park, hindi na nila kailangan ng permit. Tinanong ang mga local government units, ilan na sa inyo ang may freedom park? Ang nagtaas lang yata yung Cebu City dahil kayo ang may freedom park. Pero the rest of the country ay walang freedom parks. So sabi ng korte, ay kung wala kayong mga freedom parks, you cannot deny any application for permit to have public assembly. Otherwise, you are denying that constitutional right. Kasi wala nang option yung mga tao. Ayan. So, calibrated preemptive response, ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, it has no purpose. Kasi ang requirement, how the law enforcement authorities would deal with those conducting public assembly shall be maximum tolerance. At hindi valid yung calibrated preemptive response. Okay? Then, what about the content-based restriction? These restrictions are imposed because the content of the speech itself. Kaya content-based kasi yung sasabihin. Have improper motivation, are usually imposed because of fear of how the people will react to a particular speech. This is subject to the clear and present danger rule. If what is going to say will create clear and present danger, the state has the right and authority to prevent him from saying it. Okay? What about content neutral? In the case of Osmeña versus Commission on Election, a government regulation is sufficiently justified. So meaning pinagbabawalan ang expression, speech, or press if it is within the constitutional power of the government, if it furthers an important substantial governmental interest. If the governmental interest is unrelated to the suppression of free expression, and if the incident restriction on alleged freedom is no greater than essential to the furtherance of that interest. In other words, hindi yung content ng speech ang ating pinagbabawalan dito, kundi incidental lamang yung restriction because there is a greater governmental interest that might be affected if you are allowed to express what you are going to say. Now, but any form of prior restraint is unconstitutional, as I was saying earlier. Diba? So, pabayaan mo yung tao magsalita. Kapag yung sinabi niya is slanderous or libelous, let him face his consequences in court. But for you to prevent that person from saying it, then that is unconstitutional. Okay? Now, what about the O'Brien test? Itong si John Paul O'Brien, alam niyo yung storya niya, di ba? Yung draft card niya ay pinunit niya doon sa Capitol. And then he was arrested kasi meron palang mga FBI agents doon. Ano ba yung draft card? Kapag meron kang draft card, ay kailangan mo mag-serve sa military. And remember, it was right after World War II. 1947 yan nangyari sa Amerika. Now, it was upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States na valid yung pag-arrest sa kanya at walang violation ng kanyang freedom of expression. So, the Supreme Court of our country adopted that in that case of social weather station or social weather station. No? The government regulation is justified even it prevents an individual from exercising his freedom of speech or expression if it is within the constitutional power of the government. If it furthers an important or substantial governmental interest. But remember, at that time, katatapos lang ng gera. So, maraming namatay na sundalo ang Amerika. So, pag wala nang gustong magpunta sa militar, baka manghina ang military might ng United States. Kaya justified at the time. Now, if the governmental interest is unrelated to the suppression of free expression, and if incidental restriction on alleged freedom of speech or expression and of press is no greater than essential to the furtherance of that interest. Okay? So, yun ang mga requirement para i-apply natin itong O'Brien test na ito. Ito kasi yung survey na ginawa ng Social Weather Station, pinagbawalan sila, pero sabi ng COMELEC, sabi ng Korte Suprema, ano ba ang governmental interest na maapektuhan pagka itinuloy yung survey 7 days before the election? Wala naman. Okay, what are the tests for valid restrictions? The dangerous tendency doctrine, balancing of interest test, and clear and present danger. But our Supreme Court, in one decision, has affirmed that we are using the balancing of interest test. Freedom of expression on one hand and governmental interest on the other hand. So, alin ang mas matimbang? Kung mas matimbang yung governmental interest, valid ang restriction sa ating freedom of the press, speech, and expression. Okay? So, the dangerous tendency doctrine permits limitations on speech once a rational connection has been established between the speech restrained and the danger contemplated. Okay? Pag contemplate, hindi marami makakain. Konti yung plate. Diba? So, dapat maraming plate. Anyway, joke lang. Now, what about clear and present danger? It rests on the premise that speech may be restrained, pwede kang pigilan, because there is substantial danger that the speech will likely lead to an evil the government has the right to prevent. Kaya nga sabi nila, yung classic example, di ba? When you shout fire in an open space, you cannot be restricted. But if you shout fire in a crowded cinema, then you can be held liable because of the clear and present danger that it will create on the people there. So this rule requires that the evil consequences so to be prevented must be substantive, extremely serious, and the degree of eminence extremely high. Okay? Now, the Supreme Court adopts the clear and present danger rule in this case of ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation, that a limitation on the freedom of expression may be justified only by a clear and present danger of substantive character that the state has the right to prevent. So, ano ba ang mas matimbang? Yun nga, balancing of interest pa rin tayo dyan, no? Yan. It chooses a standard when courts need to balance conflicting social values and individual interests and requires a conscious and detailed consideration of the interplay between the interests of the government and freedom of the individual. Now, nag-conduct ng exit polls ang ABS-CBN pagkatapos nung 1998 presidential election. Pinagbawalan sila ng COMELEC dahil baka daw mag-trending, baka yung result ng kanilang exit poll sa pagka-presidente ay iba ang maging resulta sa COMELEC. So pag hinalaan silang may dayaan, pinapigil. But the Supreme Court nullified that resolution of the COMELEC in stopping ABS-CBN. Dahil wala naman daw na governmental interest na maapektuhan. Hindi totoo na may trending na pagka ito sinabi ng ABS-CBN ng panalo, iba ang sinabi ng COMELEC, may dayaan. Hindi ganon. Okay? Maraming natuwa na nawalang ABS-CBN, particularly yung mga misis. Bakit ABS-CBN? Yung mga mister daw kasi yan ang bisyo, alak, babae, sugal, cabaret bar, nightclub. Okay? Ang natira GMA, konti na lang kami. Gentleman all the time. Okay. So, libel. Ito yung the Damocles sword. Diba? Hanging. Para doon sa mga practitioner dito sa press natin. No? Sa freedom of the press, etc. etc. At idagdag pa ninyo yung online libel. So what is libel? Of course, hindi ito itatanong sa constitutional law, tatanong ito sa criminal law, sa public and malicious imputation by crime or of a vice or defect. Real or imaginary, remember that, real or imaginary, or any act or omission, condition, status, or circumstance tending to cause the dishonor, discredit, or contempt of a natural or juridical person, or to blacken the memory of one who is already dead. Diba? Patay na si Marcos. So, pwede pa bang magkaso ng libel? O, yung mga kamag-anak niya. What is the defense against libel? Number one, in the revised penal code itself, a private communication made by a person to another in the performance of a legal or moral or social duty. And then, ito na yung doctrine of fair comment. A fair and true report made in good faith without any comments or remarks of any judicial, legislative, or other proceedings. In other words, hindi ka pwedeng mag-comment kasi fair and true report. Doctrine of fair comment. Okay. In the case of Borjal versus Court of Appeals, every false imputation is deemed malicious. Nevertheless, when a discreditable imputation is directed against a public person, remember this, public person in his public capacity. Sabi mo, yung mayor namin, tamad. Hindi niya pinupuntahan yung kanyang mga constituents. Oh, is that a fair comment? Yes, kasi directed against a public person in his public capacity. Pero sinabi mo, yung mayor niyo pangit. Oh, hindi naman siguro yan public capacity. Personal yan. Diba? Okay. Then of course, directed against a public figure. Remember the case of New York Times versus Sullivan, napakalawak ng description ng public figure. So any person can be a public figure. O, di ba? Because of his accomplishment, fame, mode of living, his profession. Diba? So you can be a public figure. So a fair comment against you may not be libelous at all. Diba? Okay. Baseball player, a boxer, entertainer, public figure yan eh. Ayan. Di ba? So it includes, in short, anyone who has arrived at a position where the public attention is focused upon him as a person. Now, in 2014 bar exam, ang tanong, explain the heckler's veto. Sabi nila, heckler? Di ba patay na yon si Adolf Heckler? Okay. Heckler's veto. Sino ba yung mga heckler? Ang mga heckler, ito yung nangehekel, di ba? So when you exercise your right to freedom of expression, freedom of speech, others might be offended. So they might heckle you. Remember itong si Medeo Cruz, an artist. Nag-display siya ng kanyang mga art. Pwede i-google ito, no? Yung art niya doon sa CCP, yung mga religious icons. Picture ni Jesus Christ, picture ni Virgin Mary, nilagyan niya ng condom at kung ano-ano. So pinatigil ng gobyerno based on the heckler's veto. Not because the government wants to restrain him, but because the government wants to protect him from the hecklers. Kasi baka siya ay magkaroon ng harm because of the people heckling him. Kaya ang tawag dyan, heckler's veto. Okay? So 2014, it was asked. Now, that trend of prayer comment, tapusin na natin, I only have 5 minutes pala. The mere fact that the subject of the article is a public figure or a matter of public interest does not automatically exclude the author from the liability. Okay? Borjal allows that for a discreditable imputation to a public official to be actionable, it must be false allegation of fact or comment based on false supposition. So dapat may basis din naman na totoong basis, no? Hindi lamang supposition or what. Okay?